Okay, this is my second video, and goes out to George Lincoln Rockwell. He was the 1960s leader of the American Nazi Party. What do I feel about George Lincoln Rockwell and those who support him? Well, George Lincoln Rockwell was a white supremacist. He was a racist. He said that he is a racist. He believes that whites in general, are the masters of civilizations, the innovators of civilization, the most highly evolved race on the globe. He doesn't make any bones about it. He's stated that. But the people who support him on YouTube, like Stefan Selmar CM, a couple other people, they say that they're not racist. They just believe that these IQs and these racial differences are just differences. Well, bullshit. You guys are being politically correct. The same political correctness you talk about in the media, you constantly cry about in colleges. No, you have to go completely. Let's just be. Why don't you guys just be brutally honest? Many of you who support him are white supremacists. Yes, that's negatively viewed in the media. That's negatively viewed in society. Tough shit. You believe it's the truth, right? If you believe, you argue with us and say that this is the truth. We have indisputable facts that this is the truth. So how can it be wrong? Fine. I don't agree with that, but you have the confidence in your facts. So if it concludes to white supremacy and you believe that it is the truth, then you guys have a responsibility to admit that you're a white supremacist. This race realist shit only pertains to, well, race realist. I mean, you can call yourself a race realist, but that does not mean that you're not a white supremacist. There are some race realists that are not white supremacists. I mean, they still have, let's be honest, practically negative views toward blacks in general as a race, indigenous Hispanics, probably some of the Arab, Middle Eastern races. That's what the bottom line is that you guys don't want to be seen as haters. You don't want to see as people that are going to go out and kill blacks, and that's all fine. But the bottom line, to be perfectly bluntly honest with you, you guys don't respect sub-Saharan blacks. Come on. Look how you guys insult them on YouTube. Oh, yeah, the antis don't have a thick skin. Buddy, it doesn't matter. It's not about having a thick skin. It's about respecting other people. When you describe sub-Saharan blacks, let's just be honest. You just don't respect them. You don't respect them because the culture that you're in and how you measure humanity within that culture is based upon many of those things that you say blacks are on the lower end of the scale. IQ is a major measurement in our society, especially among racialists. A huge measurement of humanity. It is not just a difference. Let's just stop the bullshit. Okay, it's not just a difference. You don't think blacks go having lower IQs. It's just they're different. Question 1, 2, 3, 4. What you're really trying to say is that blacks cannot succeed, are incapable, or probably are incapable of succeeding in a Western civilized society. Now that's you'll say, well, it's the truth, and people are uncomfortable with it. That's fine, but don't be politically correct and stop telling me about it's just different. They're just different. That's bullshit. It's not just because they're different. Okay, it's a bunch of shit because you guys don't want to be called white. You don't want to be called racist. And the ones who believe that whites are the most evolved race above Asians don't want to be called white supremacists. Why? Because you can't handle people viewing it as disgusting. Well, you can't control people, and you believe that it is truth. Okay, you absolutely believe these facts are truth. I mean, I was talking to a guy, dysgenic. Dysgenic believes that the white race is the most evolved race. Every one of his comments, the Mongoloids, I mean, that Rushdie theory about the Mongoloids being the most evolved race in terms of intellectual capacity in a modern civilized society, doesn't believe it. He just believes that those people mimicked the white Aryan race. If it wasn't for the white Aryan race, Japan would not exist, China would not exist, no civilization would exist. That's his belief system. Okay, he is a white supremacist. Whether the world sees it as disgusting does not matter. You have to have the courage to admit to yourself that you believe that, the white race is the most evolved race. Now, there are some race realists that, quite frankly, use Asians as a token minority that will say that the Asians are equal or even superior to whites. Does that really mean anything? Well, it does mean something to an extent. I mean, it means that, they're not white supremacists. To be honest with you. Are they racist? Of course. I mean, of course you can argue they're racist. I mean, especially depends on how they view IQ and how they view all these statistics that they continue to preach from their mouths. I mean, let's just face it, they don't respect black people as a race. Now, they may respect the individuals in that race, but as a group, they don't respect them. They say, I have every reason not to respect them. I have justified in not respecting them. That's fine. But do not sit here, dysgenic, and tell me you respect blacks as a race when I hear these comments. And you don't have to respect them. Okay? That's all I got to say. So have a nice day.